This is Stephanie in Roswell, Georgia, and I'm going to be doing a couple videos just about getting prepared for emergencies from some of the information I've learned over the last few years. This first one is going to be about water. We're here at the beginning of October. We just had Hurricane Helene come through. It ended up avoiding our area at the last minute from the worst of the worst results, but unfortunately North Carolina, we see what's going on there and our hearts break for them. Just trying to see if we can get more people prepared as we're still in hurricane season here and there's more lined up. So wanted to talk about water storage here today. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do, just always have drinking water on hand throughout the year, no matter what is going on. Just have it if there's an emergency that comes through that you weren't planning for, and then that's one less thing that you have to worry about. So the emergency planning services will tell us that we need 1 gallon of water per person per day. That's minimum. Obviously, if you can do more, great, but that's the minimum that you want. They suggest doing 3 days. I prefer 2 weeks. And again, I think with what we're seeing in South Georgia and in North Carolina, they're going on a week now without any power and water, and we can't just assume things are going to get back to normal within 3 days. So I would go for at least 2 weeks. So a family of 4, that would be 56 gallons of water. And if you're in a small place, you don't have space, it gets a little challenging, but I can kind of show you some of the suggestions of what I do. So we all know these types of bottled water crates or cases that you can get. I do suggest having probably a couple of these, and then you can just grab one. Get it in the car. You can easily transport it around if you need to move. However, this plastic is about as cheap and thin as you can get. It's obviously very easy to crush it. And so I do not suggest storing any cases on top of other cases of the bottled water like this. So if you get one, just store it and don't put anything on top of it. When you try to store things on top of it, or heavy things I should say, then that's when you'll start to find a big leak and you've ruined a part of your floor or your closet or whatever and didn't even realize it. So a couple of cases, but I don't like this for all of the water needs. There's gallons of distilled water, but still the plastic on these, a little bit better than the drinking bottles, but not much better. And they're odd shapes. And, again, they're going to easily get crushed and break down. So I don't really necessarily like those. What I would suggest is get, like I said, some of the cases of the water, but then I also like these 2.5 gallon containers of the water, and especially the ones that have the spigots, because it gives you many different options. If you need some for cooking, then you can just put this into a pot and pour as much as you need. You can refill your reusable water bottles with these types, and also you can use it for washing hands. You can just put it over a sink and put a little bit, just barely eke it open, wash your hands, have some soap there, and then it just is a lot more versatile. And I feel like this plastic, this one is springtime. It's a little bit better. However, I did just recently find the Kroger one, and it's actually even thicker. So I think I'm going to start buying the Kroger ones from now on, because I like the thickness of this of this bottle or container. And then you can also store these just the way that they're shaped. You can store them in between little slots here and there as you can get them. You can also turn them sideways and put them under beds. So that kind of helps with the space issue and just trying to find any little nook and cranny that you can get in order to store water. And then also, I would say if you have any empty mason jars lying around, this isn't a very big one, but especially the really big ones, you might already have these, and then you don't have to go spend a bunch of money on containers. And instead of storing empty mason jars, fill them up with clean water. You know, get some spring water or something, or boil water. You know, do your canning like you would, and just make sure it's clean water that's going into a clean container. And then store some of these on the very top shelves in the pantry that you don't ever put anything back there because it's too hard to reach. You can put these in a closet, and they're just going to be much more durable and meant for holding heavy liquids. Finally, I mean, you can start to get storage containers that are meant for water. There's really thick, storage water cubes, but that can be $100, $150 for the ones that are meant to stack up and hold. So I'm not saying don't get them, but if the idea is, hey, what can I do quickly and without breaking the bank? These are all, very low cost options that are easy to do. This foldable water cube that I got is something I just keep in one of my bags. And, again, it would be the idea that I come across a clean source of water. I saw some cities in North Carolina were holding stations for water, but they were telling people to bring their own containers. So this would be a very useful thing to just have and be able to bring. Or, if you do go through these, save them, and you can always reuse them for, for storing water. Okay, and I'm going to talk about go bags in a different video, but I just thought also I would mention it's really important. Always, we want to make sure we're not dehydrated, but during an emergency and when you're stressed out, if you get dehydrated, it can happen very quickly and be very bad news. And then, when times are good, we can go to the hospital and get IVs, but that obviously isn't going to be an option if things are in a dire situation. So in all of our go bags, I keep some of these individual packets of liquid IV. It's just an electrolyte mix, and that could be really important if someone is starting to get dehydrated. Put one of these in and make sure that they're getting the liquids that they need, but then also the electrolytes. One other storage container I wanted to mention that is available for purchase, it's called the Water Bob, B-O-B, and it's a bathtub storage, basically emergency, big, gigantic bag, plastic bag that holds 100 gallons of water. So that can be good. Again, you would have to have water coming out of the tap, and good thing about this is it's flat and you can just get it out right when you need it, and then have 100 gallons of water stored very quickly. The downside is you can only use it once, so you can't plan on filling this up and then if you don't need it, emptying it out. It's pretty much impossible, from what I've heard, to completely get it dry on the inside. So then you'd have to worry about mold, and that's the opposite of what you want for drinking water. So you use it once, it's this gigantic bag that takes up your entire tub, and then you pretty much have to throw it away. So it's on my list of things to get. I haven't bought it yet because I don't love the idea of possibly wasting that much plastic, but I think if you have very limited space, this is a definite option to consider. The next thing I'll talk about is just ways of filtering water if you don't have it stored already or you've run out of clean water. The thing you want to understand is if there is a large power outage to the entire area, your entire city, and your public utility is out of water, they're not going to be able to clean the water. So probably after a few hours to a day, they are going to start to give the boil water notice on the water you are getting from the tap. But again, if there's no power, then there's no way to get water to the water towers. So you would have to expect those water towers to completely run dry after about 1 day to 2 days. I mean, I've heard it both, but I'm gonna plan on the 1 day because that's the more conservative way of looking at it. So don't expect that you can just continually run your tap for a week. Even if the power's out, you're only going to be probably a day in order to get any water to come out of the tap, and there's a very large chance that it's going to be a boil water notice. Also, if you're in an apartment, that might be even shorter. I understand, from what I understand, apartment buildings need to have power in order to run the equipment to pressurize the water to make it go up the building. So if you're in a very high-rise apartment, type of situation, and there's no power, you might be out of water very, very quickly. So what you'd want to do is have a way, either with the water bob or washing out your tubs, ideally, if you can, if you have the time, but fill up your tubs, and I would use that water typically for flushing the toilets, or definitely it's going to be better than drinking anything that comes out of a river, but I would be wanting to fill up the tubs in addition to having all the other water that we've talked about. So you want to be able to boil water, bring water to a rolling boil for 1 minute, and that should pretty much disinfect everything. If you're unable to boil it, then you can disinfect with bleach, and you just do regular unscented bleach. Now, the problem with bleach is that it starts to degrade after 6 months, and after 1 year, it's pretty much completely ineffective. It's kind of like as good as water from what I understand. So I've gone to the extra step of having calcium hypochlorite powder, and then I can actually make my own bleach just on demand, however much I want or need at any one point in time. And this will last for 10 years, but most people aren't going to go to that extent. I just don't like using bleach. It makes me wheeze and cough, so I don't store it on a regular basis. But if a storm's coming through, you might want to get some bleach and a clean medicine dropper, and then you would plan on doing 8 drops of bleach per gallon of water, and using that clean medicine dropper, put it in, let it sit for about 30 minutes. But aside from that, you can also buy little water purification tablets. These come in you can get a big bottle of them, you can get these small little bottles of them, and these I actually just carry around in a bag with me on a regular basis, so I always have access to them. So there's water purification tablets, there's the bleach option, there's water purification drops that you can get, so I have a bottle of that. I just suggest 5 different ways to have clean water at any one point in time. There's also the Life Straw that you've probably heard about. Now, I got a 4-pack of these. They're actually a lot bigger than I was expecting. And I haven't wanted to take it out of the plastic bag yet, but you can see the idea is you just stick it right into whatever your water source is, and then you can suck it right up. So yeah, I bought some of these, but then after I got these, I had heard about the mini Sawyer. So I ended up getting one of these as well. The good thing about this one, or the nice thing about this one, is it comes with its own little container bag that folds up flat. And then you put the, so then you can just scoop up water from wherever you are, put the filter on it, which is like a little, you know, just straw if you wanted it to be, or you can pour it into cups and glasses. And then this just seems like it's going to be easier to share with other people, to share your clean drinking water instead of everybody needing to have their own life straw there. So if your water is dirty or cloudy, you want to filter it first before using any of these other options. Try to get all the muck out of it, dirt and whatnot. So you can use coffee filters or a nylon nut milk straining bag, and these are very cheap and easy to get. So you can keep a couple of these on hand. I also use mine for making spaghetti or zucchini noodles, but they're very multifaceted. The other options that you can have for just thinking outside of the box, your water heater could be holding gallons and gallons of clean water, so you can get into that. There are videos on how to get access to the clean water in your water filter, or excuse me, your water heater, that you can go look up. And then this is called a silcock key. And this is something that I just carry around in my bag. And it is going to be something that if you've ever seen on the outside of buildings, commercial buildings, there can be some little faucet heads, but then also just these little tiny metal bracket looking things. And you can, if you have a silcock key, those basically have water mains in them or water lines in them, and you can use your silcock key to get access to the water. So wouldn't go stealing someone's water for no reason, but in an emergency, it's a good thing to have. Finally, I'm going to talk about saving water. So you've gone through all this effort to get clean drinking water, and it does need to be saved for drinking and food preparation, hygiene. But if we can do any of those other items and save some of the water, that is going to be great. So always keep a very good stock of just paper plates, paper cups, disposable utensils, anything along those lines. Make sure to use your reusable water bottles, and put in your clean water from the 2.5 gallon container that has the spigot on it. Even though I do no longer have little babies, we still buy boxes of the Kirkland baby wipes, because I've found these to be the best quality and the best price. And my husband and I just keep a container in each car, and we just use it on a regular basis. So it takes us a lot longer to get through them than when we had babies, but they still come in handy. And I would definitely suggest keeping these on hand, and you give yourself a good sponge bath rather than using the water to take a bath, and or trying to take a shower. Even if you could rig something up along those lines, I wouldn't waste the water on that. So this could also be good for cleaning hands, just cleaning all kinds of different types of things. And then I would also suggest that you consider a couple options of no rinse shampoo. You can get this online. You can also get it at Walgreens. And also at Walgreens, I picked up this shampoo cap. And the idea is it's rinse free. You put the cap on and massage the head. It's supposed to have this shampoo that really gets the hair clean with conditioner. You leave it on for a while and then take it off and you have a nice clean head. These are kind of meant more for, used more in hospitals or for older people that can't get in and out of the shower and or bathe themselves. So what I found is at Walgreens, you are not gonna find this in the beauty aisle, it's in the home health aisle, and it's going to be next to incontinence supplies. So don't go looking in the beauty aisle like I did. And then also just lots and lots of hand sanitizer. You keep that well stocked, but you know, the alcohol, same thing with bleach, it's not gonna last forever. It starts to break down. So just try to keep that well stocked, and keep that also maybe put it through your car, you know, put it in your bags, and then just replenish it when you need it. So those are my tips on how to get and store clean drinking water. And keep in mind, I did not just all of a sudden get all of these things at once. In some cases, it took me years of learning about them and or trying different things out and buying different things. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy all these things immediately. Just do what you can with the money that you have. And if you have $10 worth of drinking water from the store and you can get 20 gallons, you know, whatever this month, and then try to get some more, you know, to do the same next month. I mean, now that puts you in a better situation than you were before. So don't feel like you have to do it all. Just do what you can, when you can, little by little, and build up your supply.